The Russia-Ukraine war that has defined the story in Europe for nearly 4 years now may be finally coming to an end. The Ukrainian president has accepted a battlefield freeze, effectively conceding defeat to Russia and agreeing to halt the fighting at the current battle lines. The move follows intense pressure from US President Donald Trump, who reportedly told the Ukrainian leader he is out of options and has to agree to Russia's terms to end the war. This was at the White House last week. Trump has urged both Ukraine and Russia to stop fighting immediately and hold their positions. Listen first to what he said.
You stop at the battle line and both sides should go home, go to their families, stop the killing, and that should be it. Stop right now at the battle line. I told that to President Zelensky. I told it to President Putin.
And Trump's call has now become official policy. Zelensky, along with the top European leaders, announced a joint statement, with the European Union supporting Trump's proposal. The statement calls for an immediate cessation of hostilities and recognizes the current battle lines as the basis for the peace negotiations. And the statement bears the signatures of Zelensky, the European Council President, the European Commission Chief, the French President, the German Chancellor, and the Italian Prime Minister. But even before this joint statement, Zelensky's comments last Friday gave a preview of what is to come.
I think we have to stop where we are, and he is right. The President is right that we have to stop where we are. This is important, to stop where we are and then to speak.
Zelensky's statement marked the first time since the war started that Kiev has accepted that no further territorial gains are likely. Behind the scenes, reports suggesting Trump has pressed Ukraine to accept Moscow's terms as part of a broader peace deal. According to European diplomats quoted by the Financial Times, Trump pressured Kiev to accept Moscow's terms, and these developments come just days after Trump publicly said he did not think that Ukraine would actually win the war against Ukraine. So what does the current battle line look like at this point? Here's a look at this map coming up on your screen. On the left is what the map looked like just before the war broke out. This was in 2022. And on the right is how things stand right now. February 2022, October 2025. Russia currently controlling roughly 20% of Ukraine's territory. These include areas in Donetsk, Luhansk, Zaporizhia, and Kherson. The Russian president, in fact, is said to have demanded complete control of Donetsk while signaling possible withdrawal from parts of Zaporizhia and Kherson if Kiev agrees to formalize those gains. So, with Ukraine now ready for talks based on the existing battle lines, the next move lies with Putin. And Trump plans to raise this issue directly with the Russian leader during an upcoming meeting in Budapest. The Russian foreign minister, in fact, has said that Moscow's terms for peace remain unchanged since the Trump-Putin meeting or the summit in Alaska in the month of August. And in the latest, Lavrov has said that stopping in Ukraine will mean forgetting the original causes of the war. Here's the statement.
Now when we hear from Washington that we must stop immediately and that we must not discuss anything further, stop and let history judge. If we simply stop, that will mean forgetting about the root causes of the conflict, which Donald Trump's administration has clearly understood and voiced.
So for now, Europe's most brutal conflict in decades remains unresolved, but this could be the beginning of a new phase, one where words and not weapons will decide the future. It's a celestial visitor older than empires, and now it returns for the last time in 1300 years. The comet, a glowing green wanderer from the edge of our solar system, will be streaking across Earth's skies in a once-in-a-lifetime spectacle. If you miss it tonight, you might never see it again.
High above the twilight horizon, a faint emerald glow will pierce the darkness. That's Comet Lemon, named after the Mount Lemmon Observatory in Arizona, where it was discovered. It's been traveling for centuries through frozen silence, tracing a vast 1300-year orbit that reaches deep into the outer solar system. And now, for one brief night, it graces Earth's sky once more before vanishing into cosmic exile until the year 3325. Astronomers say Lemon will be visible shortly after sunset. Best seen from the northern hemisphere, you won't need a telescope, just a dark, clear sky and patience. Look low in the western sky near the constellation Scorpius. A glowing misty green tail will mark its path. Comets like Lemon are cosmic time capsules. They are vessels of ice, dust and rock left over from the solar system's formation 4.6 billion years ago. They journey through space in long looping orbits altered over centuries by the sun's powerful gravity. Soon, Comet Lemon will fade from view, vanishing back into the outer solar system, where it will remain invisible to human eyes, until it returns in the early 32nd century. For now, the moment is ours to pause, look up and witness a rare cosmic dance that connects us to the vast universe beyond. Bureau Report WION World is One.
Washington's most famous house now under the hammer. Demolition crews have started tearing down part of the East Wing to make way for President Trump's grand ballroom there. A project stirring curiosity, also controversy, and a fair share of silence inside the White House. Take a look.
Set out early to locate a vantage point close to the inaugural stand, citing all three branches of government. You will repeat after me.
For over 2 centuries, the White House has stood as both symbol and stage, evolving through wars, presidencies, and quiet midnight rebuilds. Now it's undergoing one of its boldest makeovers. Yet the sound of heavy machinery now echoes across the South Lawn. Construction is officially underway on one of the most significant structural changes to the White House complex in over 80 years. The target is a portion of the East Wing, specifically the facade that for decades has been the main visitor's entrance and home to the First Lady's offices. This is the first step in creating President Trump's massive, privately funded ballroom, a 90,000 square foot annex built to host nearly 700 guests.
I want to build a ballroom. It needs it badly. And a ballroom that could seat 600 or 700 people so that when you have state dinners or more if it's possible.
The demolition extends to the East Wing facade overlooking the Treasury Building, a portion of the White House complex completed in 1902. The wing has stood witness to generations of American diplomacy, hosting receptions, state visits, and Red Cross activities during World War II. With the construction activity in full swing, employees have reportedly been told not to share images from inside, as security restrictions tighten around the heavily guarded site. Trump has described the project as a legacy space for America, insisting it won't interfere with the original structure of the White House. It's not the first time the White House has been reimagined. Harry Truman rebuilt the entire interior between 1948 and 1952, after it was found structurally unsafe, leaving only the outer shell intact. Jackie Kennedy later led a sweeping restoration of art and furniture, turning it into a living museum. Now, Trump's renovation. The first major structural alteration in 7 decades is once again changing how the world's most famous address looks and feels.